Hello, hello, hello. I am Gamer Squiggles. Welcome back to Meet the Fleet. So, I decided, of course, we're going to view the Fell Grassa today. But there were a couple other ships that I forgot to mention. We have the Chalmers, the El Grano, I did mention that, and then we have the Rantham. You know what's funny about the Rantham? I'm going to talk about this now. So, I use an LCC in ship survival, which is essentially a rust freighter. The Rantham was built from a rust freighter. Now you know. And here is the Vega class. So those were the ships that weren't presently in the lineup, which are now in the lineup here. There's still a couple more ships that need to be added, but that will be on a later basis. So we're talking about the Fell Grassa. Now, something interesting with the Fell Grassa, it is essentially a wide-bodied Fell Grassa. They are essentially made literally. The Fell Grassa was literally made from the Fell Grassa and just extended out, which allowed for this much more amazing bridge, which is armored, like with the La Grassa. The Fell Grassa is heavily armed with guns everywhere. Thing literally looks like a porcupine. But as we're touring the Fell Grassa and the Fell Grassa, you'll notice the interior is very similar, but there are some areas that are different. One area that's different is the Fell Grassa has an officer's quarters with an aquarium. Okay, so our med bay is here next to these pipings for the refinery. This is same as in the Fell Grassa. The Grana. This is the captain's quarters, and uses the captain's block. Chair, the desk block. And there are the numberings of tons of ships in FEN. And also those C's, the C1, C2, C3, C4, 5. All that is ship classes. There is, inside the blueprint of this, there is a data pad inside that chair that talks about what all the different ship classes are. Moving on, this is just an airlock. There is some extra storage in here. That's literally all that's down there. Production's here, but we'll get to that in a second. Up here, this is the CIC. Pretty similar to what's in the Fell Grassa. Grana, I mean, I always mix those two up because they're so similar. But, so this is the SIMPL script. You heard me talk about that in the Argyle, the La Grassa. No. Now I'm mixing this ship up with that. And you know what's funny is the Fell Grassa came about from me mixing the names of the La Grassa and the Fell Grassa. But so when I was able to get it so you have the X, Y, and Z, so it's very easy for whoever is in the station to find out where there's a damaged block and go and fix it. There's a helm here so that the CIC does have control capabilities if needed. This here is the nav section of the Fell Grassa, which is very similar on the Fell Grassa. There are some differences. One difference is that there is an extra reactor inside the Fell Grassa. Sorry, it is really tough for me to get those names right. So we have inset little docking points for small ships. They just will come here, and then whoever is a pilot can walk in here, come down this ladder, then come down that ladder, then walk down these stairs, and then through that door. There is another one over here. I don't know why there's a ladder there. Actually, the ladder's supposed to be... Oh, this was modified. This grid was completely modified and I had not noticed. Well, that will be fixed at a later date. Yeah, I did not notice that was there. But yeah, that will be fixed at some point. You know, the ships are on the workshop, so you know, you guys can always download them and then tell me my screw-ups. But not so many people download my stuff. So we have production here. There's this is a refinery here, assembly over there. There's also H2 generator there. And now here we have the crew quarters. It's a little more cramped. Not as spacious as it would be on Fell Grassa, but they, again, bathroom. The all-important bathroom in the crew quarters. It's very similar layout to what's on the Fell Grassa. Then here is the weapons locker. This area is a little bit extended than on the Fell Grassa. And then here is the kitchen area, which has also been extended compared to the Fell Grassa, I believe. And then we have cargo access here. Now we're going to go up. So the way we want to do that is either up that ladder or these stairs. So we have another H2O2 generator here. This is the access to the bow. And you'll notice a decoy block right there. Sometimes it'll be dangerous walking the bow because you'll be cooked by that thruster whenever the ship starts braking, but other than that, you probably should be fine. There's a welder here, which is why I'm getting zapped. There's on the other side. They are repairing the railguns for the Fell Grassa. The Fell Grassa does not have railguns. It has artillery cannons instead, but this ship can deal a lot of damage if it needs to. Okay. So this is the bridge. Again, the thing is where it doesn't necessarily need to be. But again, we do have the armoring over the bridge windows. The Fell Grassa also has rocket launchers, total of 6, 3 on each side. And I cannot remember for the life of me if the Fell Grassa has any. So, I've talked about this before, but this ship has a lot more firepower on the bottom than most other ships. An interesting fact, actually no, it's slightly different. I was going to say that it's lined up with the turrets on the bottom of it, on the top, but it's not. Yeah, so the Fell Grassa does have 2 rocket launchers, but the Fell Grassa has more, and I'm going to tell you right now where I've noticed the weakest part of the armor that the NPCs constantly exploit. Right here. I might have to armor that up one of these days, but that's not a now problem. But this ship does handle really nicely. And it has fit a really nice role in the fleet. And it has served as the flagship for replacing the Fell Grassa right up until the longfish. You're saying to yourself, what is a longfish? The longfish is a ship which I have not finished building completely. It's mostly built though. Well, Longfish was also an abandoned ship too, at one point in time. And this is how abandoned the Longfish was. That is the ship number for the Longfish. Well, anyway, that will conclude today's episode of Meet the Fleet. We'll move on to the Fell Grassa, and then we'll go on to the Fell Grassa and get that one out of the way. Kind of want to do the Fell Grassa because the Fell Grassa will be fresh in everyone's mind. So then seeing the Fell Grassa, you kind of understand the differences better. But I'm Gamer Squiggles, and I will see you in the next one.